Coming to you from the BroTrips Studios, your gurus of golf, the top trip takers and the golf shot makers. It's Joey Freshwater and Mr. Never Lost. Give it up for the BroTrips Podcast.
All right, you're back with the most relatable podcast on golf-related, golf-leaning stuff on the market called BroTrips Podcast. We're back, Kenny. What's up, my man? Are you chewing beef jerky right now?
Oh, of course I am.
Which one you drink? What are you eating right now?
I'm eating the Jersey Jerky.
Which one?
Premium brisket beef jerky. Smoky barbecue.
Oh, my wife
Smoky barbecue.
We learned one thing from the podcast, the first podcast we shot together, that was my wife hates when people chew and talk with their mouth full.
Sorry.
And,
Sorry, wife. Sorry, Joey's wife.
Sorry, Joey's wife. Yeah, sorry, honey.
Let me do a big slurp,
Please
too.
keep watching and listening to our podcast. But we're back, episode 2. How you been?
Oh, man, it's been fantastic. You doing good?
I'm great. I mean, celebrity status. I think we already have like 3 followers based off the first one. But
Go, Producer Jarrett.
yeah, producer Jarrett, you are
Killing
worth
it.
your weight in gold. Coming off of our first recording, that was so much fun. I do want to kick this off, do a better job shouting out my boy Wayne over at Jersey Jerky. They are the first sponsor of our podcast. He's ride or die with us, and we love him.
This might not work. Hold on.
Oh boy, premium brisket beef
It
jerky.
doesn't want to focus. Hold on.
It didn't focus.
Focus.
They're
Focus on it.
overfocused.
Focus
It's
on it.
focusing.
I'm not going to lie, you guys. This looks pretty fire.
Yeah.
This
It is
how we're
pretty
gonna
fire.
This is how we're going to do our sponsors from now on.
Okay. I would have to argue that it even tastes better than it
Let's
looks.
see.
Are you? Oh, geez, you're gonna chew on camera again.
Chew it again?
My wife is never. We're not gonna get any clicks because my wife is the one that's supposed to watch this, and she's gonna. Yeah. That's all right. All right. So, just a shout out to Jersey Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, and again, what I love about Wayne's group there is their philanthropy. Ellie's Dog Treats. They do premium dog treats. So all human grade food. There's no preservatives, no artificial flavors or colors, and they're a proud sponsor of K9 for Warriors, which I'm a huge advocate. Shout out to our troops, and shout out to Wayne over at Jersey Jerky. Go get you some. Again, like I said last time, I love the sweet heat, and then the official flavors of BroTrips. I'm not gonna. I said I was.
This episode, we got to release it.
I have to. I gotta. We have our own. It's called AK Barbecue. It's a Korean barbecue flair after Anthony Kim. Shout out to Anthony Kim.
AK.
Welcome back. But that'll be our blend. So a carne asada leaning
It's good
flavor.
to see him golfing again.
Dude, it's been how long?
It was over 10 years.
At
He had to
20?
wait.
It was like
No,
20,
no.
wasn't it?
He had like a 10-year policy, insurance. 10 to 12, I think.
Whatever it was. We're not going to talk about that because I am not at liberty or privileged to be able to
Yeah, I
talk
don't
about
know.
that. But our 2 flavors coming out are a Korean barbecue leaning flavor as well as a carne asada style. So shout out to Wayne over at Jersey Jerky, and we're just about to our 8th annual trip.
Oh, man.
It is going to be here before we might actually go on the trip before this gets released. That's how close this trip is. So we got a really great show today. We're gonna broach a very controversial topic, which I unfortunately, you mentioned earlier that the internet is undefeated, right? They're ruthless. Like I think even in the beginning, talking about whether or not we wanted to do a podcast and we knew the consequences if we weren't even like moderately good.
Right.
The risk that we're taking in our personal lives and our social lives to produce something like a podcast, which could be brought with a ton of scrutiny, and it will be. Someone's going to try to claim I don't have great hair, which is obviously a lie, but I have great hair, and I was going to wear a hat again this time, but I decided that I was having such a good hair day today that I just left it off.
Can I interrupt you? I sent a picture to a friend of mine, Jared Jones. Shout out Jared Jones. And I was like, I'm producing a podcast today. And he saw all the branding, which, excellent job with the branding, by the way. And he says, what is it, like a men's haircut podcast? And I was like, no, it's golf trips. But, I didn't see the R. He thought it was bro tips.
Oh,
So
your friend can't read.
yeah, well, in his defense, the picture
Bro
was
tips.
far away. Maybe
What
that's your
is it? What if it said bro clips?
bro clips.
Bro clips?
Maybe that's your spin-off.
Frosted
That-
tips.
That's it. Yo, I got so much grief from the group the other day because I got my hair cut
At a salon.
I go to a salon. My barber. Not gonna have a conversation about my barber, but she got sick and we couldn't go there anymore. And my wife, and during COVID too, like she was like kind of shut down. My wife's salon, great guy. His name's Sean. He's been cutting my hair for years now. He found a way to be available within the world that we were living in during COVID to cut my hair, and I just never went back because it's like weird. Like I'm a very particular in who cuts my hair and how they do it, and Sean always does an incredible job. So, but everyone was like, "Oh, you're getting your tips frosted?" No, I have blonde hair. Women pay good money to have hair this color. Okay, I don't need to highlight my hair. So I digress. We're not going to go there. That's actually not part of the show today. But here we are with this nugget. So thanks a lot, bro. Clips,
Internet's going to be undefeated on this one.
Yeah, whatever it is. But we're going to have
Frosted tips, bro trips.
But back on track with the controversial topic, which we're not going to lead off with, but it has something to do with one of the most famous and the most common food items that you partake on the golf course. So we'll conclude the show with that today. But I think that we kind of owe it to the audience to just start, because I know we went out of order.
Went straight, dove into Michigan.
We went right into Michigan. I think that was such a strategic move on our part, and I think it's going viral. People are loving it. There's a lot of great feedback from that, and I think a lot of people are in agreement that Michigan is severely underrated when it comes to a golf trip destination. I'm really glad that we could put that out in the atmosphere too, and I hope that all the courses that we went to, that they all benefit from that in this upcoming season too. So even if it's last minute travel, you can still get preferred tee times now. There's not a lot of restrictions. Like Pinehurst, you got to stay at Pinehurst, and other places you got to stay there. But fortunately, these courses you can just call them up and be like, hey, we got a big group coming. Can you help us out with some tee times? And they help you out. But today we're gonna kind of take a trip back into time and share with the audience on how we got started.
The official
trip. Yeah, that's it. The OG, the first ever unplanned business called BroTrips. That kind of What
was it called first?
This is
you don't want to go the original.
No, I'll go. I'll say what it was originally, because it was kind of funny and we're a bunch of guys and this is not R-rated but this is also not a PG rated show, but it was the breast friends, titties and beer, BroTrips first annual. So it was really
crazy.
Long,
obnoxious,
and I was on a plane flying. I was actually I think I was flying from Detroit because I was working in Detroit at the time. I was flying from Detroit to Philly or Detroit to Florida. And I had this opportunity to use a lake house that my previous company owned, and I had it for a week. And I was like, what better way than to take a bunch of my friends, and I made this whole newsletter, the official release, and it was a joke. It wasn't supposed to be a business at the time, so I said a bunch of things in there that were, a little bit, raising an eyebrow, but. We're all adults. We're all grown men. We have fun.
Then it kind of evolved to Birdies and Beer, right? It was Birdies and Beer.
Well, that's the original podcast,
right?
So there's the business and how that came about, and then there's the podcast, which we're going to get into today a little bit more about, which is awesome. But again, there's a lot of stuff that we can cover, and I think a lot of people out there that are, there's been such a resurgence or an attraction to golf nowadays that I guess we can kind of thank the COVID world for. Golf got a little bit...
Originally, you got to thank Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods elevated the game to where it's at today.
Absolutely.
And now it's just everybody is starting to... And you're getting all different ethnicities, that want to play that, and a lot of good content from the guys. And everybody wants to play golf now. There wasn't a sport that, we grew up, you played baseball, you played football, you played these sports, played the soccer.
Yep.
Golf wasn't one of those sports. And a lot of these athletes now are man, I wish I would have picked up golf when I was a teenager, as a kid. So golf is something, and that's same as me. I didn't pick it up until I was 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
and really.
I think a lot of head trauma NFL players are like, yeah, I wish I played golf. You're a freak athlete, hit the ball 400 yards at 350. But yeah, shout out to Tiger Woods. You can give us a buzz and you can thank us later. But he obviously moved the needle on the game and gained popularity over the years, which I imagine that has been covered at nauseum.
Yeah.
But if you saw like the trend of social media impacting our world nowadays, as well as the working from home aspect of COVID, and then what do you do during COVID to go outside? Like I know when I got furloughed, never thought I would have, but I get furloughed and I started golfing 5 days a week, and that's when really like the BroTrips brand itself, like we had been taking trips already, and we were incorporated, and I was using it, to market and to get us some preferred tee times and things like that, but I didn't really go into the business side of things until I had that opportunity and the time on the golf course and golfing 4, 5, 6 days a week, which I'm not really fortunate and privy to do now.
No.
But I know a lot of guys in our group, there's a handful of those guys that get a chance to play 3, 4, 5 days a week.
Oh, absolutely. They're playing
when you're a
Friday,
realtor,
Saturday, Sunday.
you're an agent or something, you just kind of go play.
That's right.
But, at the time, I think that when social media is hitting this a momentous point of growth, and there's a lot around golf, and it was one of the few things that you could do that was outside, and it was fun, and you could incorporate being around other people, but still like socially distanced.
Leave the flag in a hole.
That
changed.
Don't get me started on the rules about
that
COVID
little
golf,
donut down there where you just putted.
I bet people's handicaps went so. Yeah, you hit the stick, right?
Hit the stick, and
it
counted. Yeah, just aim at the stick and slam it in there.
Talk about absolute bullshit. You talk about absolute. Put the noodle. The
little
cup.
noodle. Yeah, that's right. Jeez. So the ball wouldn't go all the way to the bottom.
Oh my god! Now hindsight. What a joke.
Yeah, and then the plastic divider. Everybody had their own golf carts.
Golf cart, dude.
I love that everybody had their own golf carts. That was a pretty cool rule, but the divider was dumb.
I kind of like the vibe riding in a cart with somebody.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. I think there's a lot to be said about it. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about it.
That was a great shot, bud. Or no, that wasn't.
And especially when you're like in competition with them.
Did you see that shot? How are you gonna react to that?
Go fill my divot.
Yeah.
Go pick your ball up over there in the other fairway or something. I don't know.
Hey, come pick me up.
But yeah, I think that today's gonna be a lot of fun because we get to talk about like how we started out and how we kind of just like fell into this. I do want to address like I know we did in the beginning in the first podcast about like we weren't ready early on to do a podcast. Look, we're all type A, alpha, like mentality. Like we're talkers, we're salespeople. We love to have fun, but like truly subject matter expertise is what would bring this podcast to light. I think. I think that the value that we can add and having those experiences, and again sharing what works and more importantly what doesn't work or what not to do is really critical to the success of what we're doing here anyways, and really why people should listen to us. Obviously, we're really, really charming and athletic and have great hair and things like that, but people, I hope, would want to listen to us because of the banter, but also because of the value we can add in their lives. So, but yeah, truth be told, first rendition and conversation about a podcast. This was supposed to be called... what is it?
Birdies and beer. Yeah, birdies and beer.
I don't think we could call it titties and beer.
No, can't do that.
No, that we probably could have, but like frowned upon.
It was definitely frowned upon. Yeah. You had a lot of people.
But yeah, birdies and beer, and we actually got custom. I had some custom, not divot tools, but ball markers made.
Yep.
Yeah, from somebody who was doing hand making tools, and then you were gonna have a segment.
Yeah, taste it, chug it.
Taste it, chug it.
So I like to chug things. Like to, take a $10 martini and chug it, or take a, whatever, Fireball, whatever the case, taste it, chug it, and get a little rating on it. Like, what do I think of this? What do I think of this beer? What do I think of this drink?
Yeah, I still think that there is there's room for that.
Can't do that every day.
We can't do it every episode. We can't do it. Now look, if Fat Perez and Bob Does Sports, those guys want to send us some Have a Day.
I will do one for Have a Day.
We'll do it for Have a Day. I mean, shoot, I might even chug it too. I think the peach is their flavor. The first flavor is a peach flavor, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. We haven't got our hands on it yet. It's been sold out. There's some websites having trouble, but those guys, they've done a couple cameos for us. They started last year. We'll get one coming here soon. But one day we'll have that. Maybe we'll have that can sitting right here instead of
That's
my coffee.
right.
Shout out to Caffeine Roasters, the official coffee of me. Not even the podcast, just about me.
Every day.
I'd probably drink coffee from there once, if not twice a day. So they deserve some love because they keep me hydrated and they keep me motivated. So Caffeine Roasters, yes, this is just a cold brew coffee with light coconut milk. Eric, back off, bro. There's no fancy stuff in here. It's just cold brew and a little bit of coconut milk. So, but yeah, today's show. Let's talk about
year one.
Yeah, let's talk about year one.
Lake Oconee, Georgia.
Yeah, that was fun.
Reynolds Plantation.
Mm-hmm. Great Waters.
Great Waters. Yeah.
Had you ever played destination golf like that, or have you ever been to like a facility like the Ritz-Carlton there?
No, we were young kids, playing. We played the same courses, where we grew up. No, I don't think that was the first time. I think the first time we were like, "Hey, yeah, it's going to cost about this," and then you hit like, "Hey, it's $175." Like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah,
$175 for this, and it was every round was $175. You're like, "Oh my goodness," But
bring me back to the day that a course
now I'm
like
okay,
Great Waters,
$175, whatever.
Yeah, bring me back to a day where Great Waters is like $150. Because if I had to guess,
it's got to go up.
We haven't looked recently. We're considering going back there for year 9. But the price points of golf have grown astronomically.
Oh, yeah.
I think the whole world, inflation, obviously we're not talking politics or economics here, but I think the whole golf world is being hit with a financial increase, and even looking back, it was expensive for us then, but like I imagine it's probably 50% higher to 100% higher nowadays.
It's not.
Well, yeah, I hope not too. But yeah. So yeah,
but what was great is to get in the house, and that was very cheap. So it worked out. When you think about it, like, hey, we had to spend thousands of dollars at this place. So it worked out very well.
I had no idea what I was doing either. I was just like, hey, I have access to this sick lake house. There's like 4 master suites in there. There's a bar downstairs.
It was
there's
fantastic.
A cigar
place,
room.
Man.
There's shuffleboard. There's pool tables. There's a winery. Like, this place is amazing. And my dear friend Terry co-owned it. My other company I worked for had part ownership of it as well. And I was like, you know what? Let's just take a trip. Now, granted, talk about what to do and what not to do. Taking a trip, I think it was like early November. And it was like the first cold spell.
It was October.
It was either late October or early November. But I remember
it rained.
It being wet and cold. And you love the cold.
I love the cold, but I don't like the rain.
Yeah,
the rain set me off.
Yeah, I think that was tough. But, there was 8 of us.
Yeah, the first year was 8.
The OGs and...
Yep, and we had a couple friends who couldn't make it. One had a surgery.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Getting a pacemaker, so that was like a big thing. So that was a big life.
Yeah, life event.
Yeah,
I can't believe that kept him from going. It was.
You need to recover, bud.
Get your shit together, man. But that was an amazing trip, and I think going back because now the group's 16 now.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually 20, but we have some alternates, and some people go every year, and some people don't go every year. And
that's right.
But at the end of the day, like we have this group of 16 now. And to be able to share that experience, and more importantly, like all of the evolutions over the years, and we
learned a lot year one.
That's it.
So we did the rider style teams. We had teams.
Was it
Tennessee versus Florida? Yeah. So it was the Florida boys versus the boys in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So it was 4v4. Yeah. And just it was different. There was a lot of. I don't know. It's like you didn't take it serious. Like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go. There was no practicing. I didn't practice weeks in advance. I wasn't trying to get my handicap.
You weren't sandbagging your handicap.
Wasn't sandbagging my handicap.
Not yet.
No. Someone else sandbagged. That's who won, but I'm not gonna say the name. They were sandbagging. Played the same as me. But so you took it more serious year 2 because man, I want to win that trophy, or I don't want to win the other trophy. The I don't know which one's more famous.
Yeah, the trophy conversation. Would you rather? Oh, I don't want to get into that right now. Like the trophy comparisons of would you rather win one or not win the other? I don't think we should go there. But year 1, lots to learn.
Oh yeah.
The big surprise, and I think the thing for me that was the most fulfilling was the surprise about going over to Championship
Retreat. Yeah.
That was
27 holes.
Amazing experience.
9 by Jack Nicklaus, 9 by Arnold Palmer.
And Gary Player.
Yeah.
It's the only course I'd ever done in like together.
And it's right outside of Augusta.
10 miles north.
10 miles, and that was the key for year one. That was that focal point for year one.
The marquee
one.
Yeah.
I remember buying a Scotty Cameron divot tool. From there.
Jesus.
It was just
$1 million.
Championship retreat was amazing. It really was.
That and the story behind that course is, and I don't know if there's any truth to this because I don't want to be spreading any blasphemy, but they apparently drew straws.
Of which piece of the property?
Yeah,
right?
because
there's property.
There are 3 different, completely
3
different style courses. There's like a preserve and a couple.
One's on the river.
Yeah, and it was an amazing experience. Again,
it really was.
If you ever get a chance, I know it's really private now. They do a lot of stuff during the Masters, and you can like rent like their cottages and villas and stuff. But I'm telling you, ever get a chance to play Champions Retreat, it's a must. It really
it's definitely
is.
a must.
But back to like Great Waters and
Lake Reynolds,
Lake Oconee. That was just for us. Like it was probably the first time outside of just like going to like a TPC or going to Doral or something like that. Like it was the first time any of us had ever like done like a destination trip with a bunch of guys.
And we drove.
Yeah.
we drove.
Yeah, we did.
So we drove. It was like 10 hours for us guys in Fort Myers. So we drove from Fort Myers. Had my truck, had a trailer with all the golf clubs and all the luggage in the trailer.
I remember you
got like 8 miles to the gallon in the truck, so we were stopping all the time, filling that up. Man, it was definitely it's all about the experience. I don't know if I'd ever do that again. I'd fly.
We tried to get you to take the trailer to Pinehurst.
Yeah, but
do you remember that?
No,
we were gonna leave. The day before on the morning of for Pinehurst.
That's right. We were gonna rent a vehicle and drive up. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
We were gonna we were gonna borrow your trailer. No, we had the Mercedes Sprinter van.
That's right. We were gonna do a Sprinter van.
That's right, and that would have been amazing.
We didn't know if we were gonna use a trailer at the point. We was like, maybe we need to bring the trailer for that.
But yeah, I think looking back, starting out, we didn't really know what we were doing, and there was no thought of an annual trip until it got done.
That's right.
And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Ben, and he was like, "Hey man, where are we going next year?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's a really good question. Like, we should do something." And I instantly started planning the next trip, and that kind of brings in how this became what it was. So I think by the end of year 2, which was Innisbrook, yeah.
Still did teams. I mean, we always do teams, but
yeah, I get done at Innisbrook, and I start planning year 3, and I remember my wife going, "You spend more time planning these trips than you do ours. Like are you at least making any money from this? Are you at least like?" Hopefully you're making money from it. It was an assumptive statement, if I remember correctly. I also did plan a vacation for us right after that, because I felt guilty.
I was gonna say you felt the guilt of
but
that.
like, look, I know what my wife wants, and I know what my wife needs, and I know her destination. She loves Palm Beach, and she loves the beach, and she loves being on the water, and she loves being in the sun. Like, that's easy. You know what's not easy?
Planning for 12 guys.
Planning for 12 dudes that have an opinion. Right?
That's right.
You got an opinion. Most of them have kids. They're pretty much all married, right? And saying, okay, well, we can go on this. Oh, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah. This is my daughter's birthday or my anniversary or
Yeah. Exactly. So
or it's the Tennessee Alabama game, or
that's it. And
we used to play in October. We used to go in October. Now we don't go in October because of that.
That's right. And then of course, now that we are where we are now, planning a trip is like, all right, do we plan a trip around what the availability is, or do we plan a trip about to a location that is like a Michigan, like we talked about last time?
Right.
Do we plan it around the season that is best for there? Because you know what I mean. Like it's depending on what your goal
we know not
is.
to do in Arizona.
Which we're gonna get into that in later episodes, but yeah, you want to tell them the secret? Other than chapstick?
Oh yeah, you gotta have the chapstick. Don't go when they do overseed.
Yeah, do not go to Arizona.
It is car path only. And unless you're hitting it next to the car path, you're gonna walk more going from cart to your ball back to the cart. I mean, you're gonna walk miles.
Well, that was and not to deviate, go down the Arizona
great house,
path.
great destination, but not during that time.
Oh, Arizona was phenomenal. Still top 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah, awesome. But
do not do it during over. I'm like, I remember booking,
make sure you call.
I remember calling and booking that trip, going like, why is everything so stinking cheap?
Yeah,
like why is this so? The house was so cheap. Like everything was so cheap. I'm like, guys, can you believe we're getting 7 rounds of golf for this much money? And then I get there and they're like, oh, it's car path only. And I was like, wait a minute.
That's why.
Yeah.
No, the very picture again. It was very beautiful, and again, the trip is just the walking.
Yeah,
it was just
that was brutal.
You're playing 36 holes a day.
Yep.
You know,
and even the best, if you're in the, it doesn't matter what shape you're in. When you're playing 36 holes,
it compounds each day.
Yep, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Back to year one, Lake Oconee, Georgia.
So we get set up, and I don't think this is as a business at all. I was just having some fun, and we're doing this basically kind of like social club kind of thing.
Yep.
And then I had a marketing company in Elite Marketing in Tampa that I used to drive by, and I loved their sign. So I went in there one day, and I'm like, hey, I've got this group called BroTrips. Can you make this logo for me? I just want it to be a circle so it fits in the Instagram bubble.
With a golf ball.
It's got to be golf leaning and something kind of trendy and cool. Yep. And they made this logo, and this logo is like...
You gave them the colors you wanted to use.
That's it. Orange, Tennessee orange and smoky gray. I'm sorry, not everyone likes that, but go Vols. Shout out to University of Tennessee. And orange has always been my favorite color. So I said, you know what? It's my business. I'm going to brand it around that. Called it a day. And we made this logo, and next thing you know, we've got a business.
Yep.
Right? And I'm W-2 at the time. I'm busting my ass. I'm in sales. I'm like running all around the country. And I don't think anything of, making this like a big business. My goal, and since day one, has been, let's just make enough money to where we can take a trip every year where it's paid for. That's it. I want.
Not there yet.
No, God, no. We're not close to it yet. But we will be. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Yeah. And there's many levels and versions of our business, and we're in like version, I would say 1.5. We're about to be at version 2.0, but we've launched the podcast now. We've got so much more credibility. Got a lot of followers online.
It's to pay for one trip. For all of us. It's not to pay for like every single trip. We don't take multiple trips. We would love to do that, but we know it's just to pay for the one trip with the guys, the 12, the 16, whatever the case may be.
That's it.
And so that they like, hey, we're doing it this week. Let's go. Everything's taken care of. That's the goal.
Let's just let's have the brand make enough money to have a fun trip, a badass trip where first class or no class, you go and do these sick places. And I've had the opportunity to just have conversations with you and other legacy and like OG members and ask things like, what is it to you? Like, what does BroTrips mean to you? And the responses have really been blowing my mind too, because I know what it is to me, and I know what the value is to me, and I know, like we talked about appreciation in the last segment, in the last podcast, was like, it's not really like what we do, and like the planning that we do is not like glorifying. Like,
right.
It's not supposed to be like it's a job. It's like business.
You go there just to have fun, right? We make fun of someone who says that, just to go in there to have fun, but really, man, you go there, like, I don't see those Knoxville guys all the time. So seeing the guys in Knoxville or Mark that's in South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever he's at, outside of Charlotte, in South Carolina. But just seeing those guys, getting to see them. We talk to them all year long.
Yeah.
We're sending pictures. We're talking, every day. We talk to these guys every day. But getting to hang out with them, getting away from, you're not saying to get away from their family, but, you're taking time out from your family to do that. So it's a once-a-year thing that we do, and it's great. And, I see what you're saying about it's not about getting appreciation.
No, not at all.
We love it. I mean, we love these guys, and we want to see them, so...
I'm fortunate to have the flexibility in my schedule to do this. I'm also passionate about it, and I'm now able to sit here and have a conversation about it. I did want to share. I did like a little bit of like a Q&A thing, and I'd sent some messages out, and I asked the OG crew, what did BroTrips mean to you? And I we're going to do some other spins off of this, but I wanted to read one of them.
All right.
And it is from one of the oldest and one of the most...
The Ageless Wonder?
The Ageless Wonder.
I knew it.
The most mature. But he's such a good orator. He's good with words.
That's right.
He says, at its core, it's always been about the brotherhood, the friendships and bonds formed. Golf is just the glue, if you will, that brings it all together. A group of guys laying it on the line week after week for family and work, looking for that brief sabbatical together for competition, cheer, and unforgettable memories. Exploring the country together, one golf track at a time. Now, if I didn't know who wrote this, I would have thought someone did a ChatGPT bullshit, right? Like, Jared, am I wrong? Like, is that...
It feels like poetry to me.
Yeah, it's touching. I'm wiping my eyes. It's beautiful.
I want to sign
Are you
up.
crying? And here,
Yeah. It was very good.
Because
Because so that guy right there, since year one, we had to play every year.
Yeah.
We've never been on the same team. You know, it was like for years it was my rival. You know, like we got it happened year one. You know, it happened year one. Like we were so close in the handicap, we got pushed hard. Like, hey, it's Ben versus Kenny, and it's every year. So it's been So that's awesome to hear that, man. It's good stuff.
It's fulfilling for us, I think. Like, and look, like Kenny.
First time I heard that too. So
it's been, again, it's a position that we hold, and it's a responsibility that we have and when planning these trips. But at the end of the day, like, we're not doing it for the gratitude and the glory, but it is very, very refreshing, and it's nice to feel for the soul when you get feedback like that.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
And you talk about he's a great human being.
Yeah,
I think everyone that in our group are just like good human beings.
Yeah.
And that's like a very important part about being in the nucleus is that it's kind of like any of those businesses that are like no dickheads, like no assholes, hashtag no assholes. And like that, the philosophy of like the people in your group, not to mention that you're going to a destination that's could be thousands of miles from your house.
That's right.
And you're trapped with them either in a condo
5-6 days, an entire house.
Yeah, I'm not doing that with someone I don't enjoy.
No.
Right? Even
kill each other.
Even my biggest rivals that are on this trip, like I still enjoy being around them because again, it's not just golf. Like there's merrymaking. There's just. I mean, we've talked, I don't know how many conversations I've had with others in just talking about business and life stuff. And like, it's a community. It genuinely is. And
what he said, brotherhood.
That's it. 100%. And like, look, I'm stressing anyone that's listening to this that has aspirations of planning a trip that's golf related. There is so much more to that than just going and hitting the golf ball around for a couple days. Or actually, there could be, or there can be. Like, obviously, you want to have like a bad expectation set going into this and like inviting people that you should for the wrong reasons. But at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of synergy. And then you have that many really successful, great, like-minded people together in a room. Good things are going to come from it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just kind of the natural evolution of that.
And we just feed off of it. Feed off each other.
That's it. BroTrips has really been designed and come together nowadays to be not just our outlet to go and have these trips every year, but also like to kind of give back to the community in the golf world and leverage the information that we have.
That's right.
I have an opportunity, and we have an opportunity of sharing our perspectives. I know that you've handled since really year one, majority of like the statistician or the stat lines and
keeping the handicaps and making sure where they're at, and it punching in just using everybody's handicap based upon that course. And before we used to lock in handicaps, the day of, so now we're not doing that. You just keep your handicap, but it was more, keeping that information from year one, keeping that information from year two. And just seeing how everybody, and it's it's always.
Do you want to go through like how we score these trips and like what
So we have a net trophy, right? So for years we have the net trophy. So everybody thinks basically, we didn't want the 18 handicap. If we were going to have just what's the best golfer, well, the guy that's a 4 handicap is going to win it every year, or the guy that's 5 handicap. The 18 handicap's not going to go out and shoot 72.
Yeah.
4 times to win the best golfer trophy. So we wanted to do it. Let's keep the handicaps. And base this golf trip off handicaps. So we did that for seven years now.
Yep.
So now
we'll continue to do that.
Yeah. We'll still have 2 trophies. We'll have a net trophy. So, so you're just taking that handicap or whatever you shoot. If you're a 10 handicap, and obviously it's around 82, and you can keep that. Plus or minus a few strokes. But yeah, just kept that on an Excel spreadsheet. One year, it was like, hey, you know what? Let's ship Amazon, Arizona.
You in the pool?
Yes, I had dry erase boards. Like, all right, we're going to do this. Write everybody's handicap down, write the course handicap down, and, vice versa. And so I was in the pool. Like, I love being in the pool, especially in Arizona. And it was cold, and the pool felt great. So, I'm out there with a dry erase board, typing in, this person shot, 2 under their handicap, so it was -2, on the overall score. So yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, just keeping that, and just reflecting that, like some guys like, hey man, do you remember what my handicap was when we went to Arizona or Myrtle Beach? And it's like, yeah, man, I got it. Boom, boom. I pull it up and send it to you.
Yeah. So formatting every year, we have we always open like with an inaugural scramble.
That's right. We've had teams. We've had captains where we drafted the night before or drafted the day of.
Yeah.
I think this year we're going a little bit different. We've already had the live style, so that's your scramble team.
Yep. This year we're doing live style teams.
Right.
So there's 16, so we'll have 4v4. Yep, 4 groups of 4. But we'll kick off.
Everybody throws in the money. There's a big pot.
Is it
right?
50 bucks a
50
person?
bucks a man, that's right.
Yeah, winning team takes all.
Winning team takes all.
There's no second place.
Did we give the money back for second
I hope
place?
not.
No,
I think that you either a winner or loser. There's no like second
winner
place
takes all.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we do, and quite frankly, like I'll just figure it out when we get there. But this year, I think that I think historically it's always been just winner takes all.
That's right.
And then for the trophies, we have the best golfer trophy, which was the net score winner.
That's right.
And then we've had the worst golf trophy we call the Dick Trophy.
The Dick Trophy.
We Amazoned a little penis trophy, and that
we don't keep the names on that one.
No. We know
we do engrave each year the winner on the other trophy, but we know who gets it. We always make fun of them, but
I don't know. I think this year there might be a couple people competing for it.
We had someone break 90 the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah. Shout out to Easy for breaking 90. Proud of him, man.
That's awesome.
And then this year we're introducing the
BroTrips champion.
The BroTrips champion. Yeah, that's the gross. It'll be the gross trophy.
That's right.
So for those of you that are keeping score out there, or like trying to get some good advice about how to plan the trips, we typically go. The trips start on Wednesdays, and they typically fly out Tuesday-ish, and then the first round, like our inaugural, like our annual scramble will be held on that Wednesday, on the morning or afternoon.
Whichever it is.
And then we'll play golf Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then fly home on a Sunday. Obviously, schedule permitting. And at the end of it all, like we have 4 rounds of golf that are quantified towards the trophy winners. So, like, obviously, if you're showing up a little early, like this year, we're showing up, and our marquee course is Shadow Creek, which is going to be
Las Vegas.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we're flying into Vegas. Playing Shadow Creek, half of us are, and then we're driving over to St. George, Utah. We're doing the whole Utah ring, and then coming back to Vegas and flying out. But what we'll do is we'll fly in, we'll play some golf, we'll have the scramble that will not be quantified towards the golf trophies.
Right, that's right.
And then 4 rounds. So
4 rounds count.
Yep, 4 rounds count. This year we're going to do something called choke ball. Have you heard of that?
No.
No? I'm not talking about like my son on the course when he's playing me.
He's choking.
He's choking. I'm talking about there's a game out there called choke ball.
Okay, explain it.
And I think what we're gonna do is the second round on Friday, or the second round on Thursday, because we're playing 18 on Wednesday, 36 on Thursday and Friday, and then 18 on Saturday.
Typical.
Which is Black Desert, which is gonna have to be the final round. That has to be counted towards the trophies for sure, but we're gonna do a game called choke ball. So your live style teams will be your scramble team, and it'll also be your choke ball team. Okay,
So 2 rounds, doing strictly for these 2 games.
Correct.
Okay.
So everyone plays their own ball, that's a big deal for us. Like, so we don't ever do like alt shot or anything because part of this is going to get travel and get to play these amazing courses.
You're not trying to hit alternate shot.
Yeah, I don't want to alt shot.
Ball.
Yeah, I don't want to alt shot, and like I want to have my own score. I want to be able to play the whole course.
The scramble, obviously we know that.
Exactly. That's why we played at like the lesser
lower, lesser other ones. That's right.
But so choke ball is just imagine everyone gets one special ball. Like there's only 4 of them, right? And they're a bright color. They're signed. They're not able to be recreated, basically. Okay. So your group, everyone has to take turns playing that ball on the hole, and the goal is to return at the end of 18 with that ball.
Okay.
So, and if you don't, you're automatically disqualified. Your team is, and then the team that submits the lowest score with the choke ball is the winner.
But if no choke balls, it's just lowest score.
Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea because I don't plan on. My team is not going to lose their ball. So we're gonna have to
pick a course with no water.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that. I mean, look, it's gonna be very challenging in Utah and in Vegas to do that. Like the courses present a tremendous amount of hazards. You're gonna have a lot of like the Red Rock. They're gonna have a lot of water over there.
Now you're saying each person has to hit that ball on every hole except for par 3s.
They all take their own time. So like, you and I are on the same team. You play this hole with the choke ball, the whole entire hole, right. And then I got to play a hole with it. And I think you basically have to roundabout.
So everybody plays at least 4 times, and you have 17, 18 would be the second ones.
And obviously these teams are drafted this year. So again, this is the first year we've done the live style golf. So we drafted a snake style draft. So the 4 best handicappers went through and drafted. So the teams are evenly split, I would say, when it comes to quality of golfer. So you have every team has lower and higher handicaps. I don't think I've met or I haven't seen a team that is like imbalanced. You know what I mean? So, but again, handicaps still help with that. But the choke ball's gonna be a lot of fun because there's gonna be some holes where former Dick Trophy winner has to go play that hole. And if he loses the ball, then that's it, and you're kind of dead in the water.
Someone's jumping in the water to get that ball.
I have a feeling that there's going to be some extreme measures taken to make sure that they don't lose the ball or someone doesn't lose the ball on a hole.
Yeah.
So as far as Jared, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Producer Jared,
killing it. You guys are crushing it. I like this choke ball idea. It seems really fun.
Would you want to play in this tournament and have to play the choke ball?
I would be scared because I'm not good. I would hate to ruin it for the rest of my team. Maybe I can be in charge of painting the choke balls.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I like that idea.
You want to do that? A little artistic.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll get you a couple balls.
I think we just need to get neon ball or something like a Vice. You know that red ball that you use that hurts my eyes.
That's a Callaway.
Is that a Callaway? I thought it was a Vice ball.
The Vice has the painted one.
So that
I haven't used that in years, actually.
That thing, I remember you teeing off it. I remember looking at that's not even red. That's that is like fireball. It is so prominent color that it hurts my eyes. Back on track, we talked about the internet being undefeated. You know what I got crushed for from the first podcast?
What's that?
Do you remember when I said I love going at the turn and grabbing a pork missile and getting a cocktail?
What is it? Is it a hot dog?
The amount of people that were triggered by me using pork missile as calling my hot dog was actually more so than the compliments that we got about how good of a show it was. I think. Which I'm actually not surprised because of the world that we live in nowadays. But I think this is giving me a really good segment here. Okay. All right. So, and producer Jared, I want you to chime in on this as well. So, a hot dog is one of the most staple things on a golf course for food. It's you get a hot dog at the turn, but there's been thrown around some names and styles. So I'm going to throw out 3 names here.
Okay.
And I want to hear everyone's and don't just like choose the one that has been chosen. Like truly tell me which one you think is the winner here. I really think it's going to be pork missile, but
No.
do you call it a hot dog or dog? Do you call it a glizzy?
Glizzy.
Is it a glizzy or do you call it a pork missile?
Or
actually, you
or
don't
a
have to
wiener. What about a wiener?
I
call it
think
wiener.
I think we need to limit. We've already
Wiener.
said Dick Trophy numerous times. Yeah, but I think that because I don't want the Wiener Trophy
Okay.
to be. Yeah, I think we'll leave it to like
All right,
hot dog
so
or
we got-
dog.
So we got hot dog,
Uh huh.
pork missile,
Or
glizzy.
glizzy. Yeah.
Oh, glizzy hands down.
Why is it called a glizzy? I've never heard of this before.
Never heard of glizzy?
No.
Man, I don't know where it came from, but that's what it's called.
Is
It's
there
called
some
glizzy.
sort of slang that it's like connected
glizzy
to?
guggler, man. You know.
I don't.
Wait, do that again. We can clip it
No,
to
no,
TikTok.
no, no.
Hey, check out this new
Definitely
reel.
undefeated.
Hey, do we have a glizzy we can have?
No, no,
Kenny,
no. No glizzy.
I'm just kidding.
We had some glizzies at the house yesterday.
ya?
My kid ate like 3 glizzies.
Got to get a glizzy at the turn, man. That's what it's
I
called.
think pork missile at the turn.
Pork missile. Wow.
I think because again, glizzy is like very ambiguous. Like I know we all know what it is because of like the.
Yeah, I want to know where it came from.
That's a really good question.
Googling it.
But like
I got to Google it.
you can
It's dangerous Google.
You can basically diagnose why it's called a pork missile.
Yeah.
It's I mean even though most of them are like kosher beef and like beef hot dogs. But,
Yeah.
but like pork missile is like it's a hot dog.
The original term originated in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area.
Well, I hate
Your
it even more
peoples.
now.
Your peoples.
They're not my people. I live there, but like I hate it even more now. Like, what do people from DC know about golf and hot dogs?
Hot dogs.
Other than they're just a bunch of wieners over there, but like for real,
You
like
think it would be like a Chicago dog, like a Chicago
Is there
person
any
coming over
more
there?
background? Like, what
Oh, I
does
don't
it
know.
say?
Maybe let's see what it says.
I want to know, like, maybe it head to Urban Dictionary potentially.
I don't
here
know
we
if we. This show is pretty
Yeah.
loose lipped, but like I don't know if we could explain the
Urban
Urban Dictionary
Glizzy.
explanation of glizzy. I don't know. Is it on there?
It just keeps. It doesn't say the original. It just keeps saying, what is a glizzy, and it's coming from that D.C. Metropolitan area, Maryland,
That's
Virginia.
so surprising to me. You want to be even more controversial? What do you put on your
Oh,
glizzy
man.
or your pork missile or your hot dog?
Well, I went to Chicago last year and tried to
Chicago.
put hot dog ketchup on my hot dog. Boy, I thought I was gonna get killed. So if you go to Chicago,
Mustard.
mustard.
Yeah.
You can't put ketchup. Ketchup is to hide the flavor of your. It's not if it was a bad meat or whatever. That's what they said.
Really?
Yeah, that's the originator.
know that.
Like the beef sandwiches, they don't use ketchup.
That's interesting.
Like I was like crucified. Like where's the ketchup? And everybody's looking around me like, Did you just say ketchup? There is no ketchup here. This was at Wrigley Field.
I've got it.
You got something for
Yeah,
us?
what you got?
Yeah. Okay, so how did it come to be known as a glizzy? You were right, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. For years, glizzy was simply a slang term for a Glock. Okay? In Big Pun's 2000 single, It's So Hard, he says, he has a glizzy in the stizzy, meaning he has a Glock in the stash of his car. Last time we checked, a gun is not a hot dog. That being said, glizzy apparently became another word for hot dog due to its similarity in shape and size to an extended clip that one might use with the Glock.
How? I
think
still
that's
don't get
a
that.
stretch.
So
Yeah.
when did that come about? Because it's new now.
Wait, is this
Yeah,
what
it's
is
all
it?
over
Is
TikTok,
this
apparently.
Yeah, TikTok's
Urban
huge.
Dictionary? Is
This
this
is- some website. Yeah.
it's on the internet. It's got to be real.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say less than a year ago, I heard the term glizzy.
Yeah, I would say it's been a year or two.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's all over TikTok. No one's calling it a pork missile. No one's calling it a hot dog. Everybody's calling it glizzy. Like it's like
Glizzy's
a big
easy
thing.
though. It's
Yeah.
like it's like
New generation.
Yeah, you want a glizzy?
Yeah,
You know, I just like
glizzy at the turn,
glizzy's
man.
got like I
glizzy
get like a little
gobblers.
uncomfortable when I hear glizzy. I'm like ugh, I don't.
A glizzy guzzler.
glizzy guzzler. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, pork. What is it? Pork
Pork
missile.
missile. It sounds like
It's
something else
pretty
too.
bad,
A little.
I used to hear people refer to pork swords, but
That's Donnie Baker. Or it's a pork sword. He always used to say that. My pork sword.
yeah, it's a different
Yeah,
thing.
he's-
Yeah.
R.I.P. Donnie Baker.
That's bad. I don't think. See, pork missiles like, and whenever I say it too, I'm like, oh, I have a pork missile, and they're like, what? Like, the cart girl or
Yeah,
some of the pro shops, like they laugh. Like
See, that's why I like all beef hot dogs. So.
Same. Again,
That's not
I
pork.
don't like
Beef
pork
missile.
either, but call it a pork. I can't call it a beef missile.
I know.
It's kind
So
of.
that's why it's a Glizzy. Glizzy's got to win. So we got to
Yeah.
put that out there.
I'm gonna go check and see if we have any pork missiles
No,
in
no,
the
no,
fridge.
no, no,
Hold on,
no.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm gonna check.
If he brought a Glizzy
Am I eating it? Is that what you're about to ask me?
just for this like section of the podcast,
There's no way.
that would be legendary.
No way. Absolutely zero
Throw
chance.
me another jerky.
All right, which one are you going this
I
time?
don't care. I'm just gonna show it to the camera.
Oh, you just showing
Yeah.
off the camera.
Okay. Shout out Jersey Jerky. This specific section on hot dogs is not sponsored by Jersey Jerky. However, we do want to say thanks to Jersey Jerky for sponsoring much of this, but not specifically the Glizzy section.
Man, now you need to get a new one. Jersey Jerky, make it happen.
Yeah.
Glizzy,
A
next
Glizzy
flavor.
flavor?
Glizzy flavor. Get it done.
I
Make
like
it happen. No chance. Zero
Call it
chance.
Nathan's Glizzy or something.
Nathan's Glizzy. No chance. No chance. All right,
I was
good.
hoping we'd have one because again, then you look at it. Let's go to the mic here. Oh man, getting in here. You really got me wedged in here, producer Jared. Mm-hmm. There's none. I apologize. I was hoping we'd have.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I know. I don't think this is the right show. That's the content you need to be shooting for your OnlyFans people. You're shooting Jared.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, put that out on the internet.
He only does feet. Come on, he doesn't do the other stuff.
Okay. So what's the vote? What's our votes? Hot dog.
Yeah,
Glizzy.
tried and true.
You just call it a dog. You just call it a dog.
So we got three things. We'll circle back on that.
All right, we're gonna have
Check social media page.
We're gonna put a poll. I guess it'd be
gotta put a
on
poll out there.
Instagram. Can you do polls on TikTok?
I don't know.
Cool. I think that's enough for me today.
All right, buddy.
You want to end with the Glizzy pork missile dog conversation?
Yeah, that's it.
I think we should end there. As always, guys, thank you for listening. Check us out on our social medias, our YouTubes, our Facebooks, Instagram, TikToks. BroTrips LLC is pretty much a handle on everything. Appreciate again our sponsors, Jersey Jerky. We also have Bad Birdie Golf. Go to badbirdiegolf.com. Use BroTrips15 as the coupon code. You get 15% off your order. 10% off. You get 15% off your order. And as always, Palm Tree Content, Jared. Producer Jared, baby. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful
Go vote on Glizzies.
Go vote on the Glizzy, whatever you want to do. Until next time, we'll see you. Have a great day. Hit them straight.